Hey friends, Grace here again with the last week of September's video for the National Month of Yoga Awareness. Tonight I am bringing you a practice for change. We will flow through a twisting and grounding practice. And I will bring some attention to common areas in which we hold tension and hope to bring a few physical prone and supine twists that help to wring out tension, bring awareness to maybe our shoulders that shrug forward from long periods of sitting or even standing, tight jaws. If you've been caught in a liminal transitional phase, I can personally identify. In life, we make transitions through liminal time and space. Some personal examples, as of lately, have proven that people, places, and internal thought processes have some terminality. As you can see here, there are some structural renovations going on in my home, and no matter how displacing this time is for me currently, there's still always room and space for me to stop what I'm doing, check in, observe, and notice how these outward changes have affected me and taken up some mental space. And that's where yoga has become the personal practice of finding yourself, uniting to yourself, and realizing the behavior that you emit always transpires onto someone else without you even knowing it. So go ahead, create some space, maybe inside due to temperature and climate changes, and begin to look within. I found my comfortable seat, left hand across my chest, close to my heart, right hand on my belly, and begin to notice the quality of each breath you've taken. Have you had a stressful day? Breathe in and out. Ground down. Moving forward into a forward fold while seated. And then reaching either behind or on your lap. Allow yourself to find space in your neck. Inhale up, exhale, ear drops down to your shoulder. Tilting your head side to side. Noticing the tension that you may have brought. And we'll go ahead and go into a slow head and neck circle. Inhale to center, exhale, drop chin to chest, ear to shoulder, and back around again. A big no, looking left and right. Chin to shoulder. Again. Moving intentionally where you need to find space. In your seated position, go ahead and inhale your arms up overhead, palms together. Exhale, drop them down and make a connection behind your low back, looking up. If you like to try the Anjali Mudra, which is prayer position, however, behind your back, which is a bit more difficult. Go ahead and just notice how your shoulders react. On an inhale, drop your right hand down to your side and create space along your side body. Inhale, exhale a little bit lower. We find the space that our spine creates on flexion, extension, side bending. Inhale, look up. And exhale, drop chin to chest, rounding the back. Inhale up. And exhale, round down. I like to grab around my knees, making one point of contact of self to self. And then dropping into an extended leg. We find that twisting motion for the other two directions our spine likes to release into. Again, those were the flexion and extension, a seated cat and cow, some side bending or side crescent, and then some simple seated twisting. On an inhale and exhale, drop down, forward fold. Bending your knees on this first one. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, drop down. Again, and release. This time, go ahead and make contact with your big toe. Inhale up, exhale. Drop everything down. Forehead to knees, or wherever it feels the most accessible to you. We all have a more comfortable position. This time allowing your legs to flop to the sides. You grab the outsides of your ankles and release. Taking a moment to inhale and exhale. Coming back up to a seated position, I like to stretch out the shoulders, allow the traps to drop, and one arm to come back behind, and the other hand to meet or greet at the other side of your body. Inhale, exhale, arms will now flow overhead and behind the low back, allowing movement to come into their shoulders. Here I am flowing nice and slow into Gomukhasana, or cow-facing pose. Opening up the shoulders, trying to meet at the upper back fingertips. And then take the moment to move how you need. For me, I like to place my hands back behind and drop my head down, opening up my chest. And creating some extension in the thoracic region, which tends to be quite tight and most often found in a forward flexed position. Pulling your seat forward, go ahead and come into table or reverse tabletop. Fingertips facing forward, feet flat on the floor, engaging through the posterior chain. Press into a horizontal. And counteract the movement by rounding forward, reach forward. And then back down into that forward fold. Coming back into a supine position. Allow your spine to relax into the floor. Bending your knees, feet flat on the floor, begin to bring motion into your hips. Crossing into that figure 4 position, pulling down for a stretch, and then dropping the lower leg out. Cradling the knee that is up. Find some circular motion into that hip joint. Allow yourself to be as passive as possible here, and then just guiding that hip back into the socket. And then pulling that ankle up for a stretch. Notice your breath here. The longer the exhale, the greater the release. Rest, palms out. Supine, Vrksasana. Supine. Extend and find motion in the opposite leg. Again, hip relaxed, allowing the arms to bring movement into your hip. Allowing the knee to drop wide, pulling the ankle close to your belly. Rest and breathe. Find length through your spine. And relax it down. Knee pointed out. In your supine position, find some rest. Vrksasana or tree pose. And setting yourself up, we are going to go into Setu Bandhasana or bridge pose with a bit of a shoulder support when ready. So making contact with our upper back on the floor, pressing our heels into the ground, engaging our hamstrings and glutes. We press and open up our hips. Into a supported back bend, a hip opener. Inhale and then exhale. Finding that twisting motion, slow movement into our core. Dropping your knees down either side, circling or half circling your arms overhead into the opposite direction. Full spinal twisting with support of the ground. So keep in mind that these movements are geared towards settling down of the mind and body. Maybe you're in a transient state, or maybe you're not. Move how you feel you need. Making our way up onto all fours. Tabletop, Mukha and cow. Linking your breath to your movement. With your next exhale, drop it down into child's pose. And when ready, a down dog. Stretching the back side that was just pressing ourselves down into the floor, we counteract that movement. Pedal out that down dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. And slowly drop it back down to your knees or tabletop. Make your way to the floor. Meet the ground with your forehead, supporting whatever you need with your elbows. Resting your belly on top of your thighs. Breathe out slow. And find that lion's breath. On an exhale, you drop your jaw. Breathe out slow. And if this is the first time stretching out your forearms, flip them so your palms are down and fingertips facing towards your body. Move how you need. Come back down to the ground. On an inhale, find yourself moving forward, opening up the chest and the back, and flowing straight down to the floor, prone. Just like we were using our shoulders in the Setu Bandha, or the bridge pose with the shoulder support. We're now in a prone position to open up the shoulders, but moving away from the earth, as opposed to into. Propping up your forehead. Straightening all the way out to the toes. This position allows you to sink into the ground. Feel your breath across the floor or your mat. Realizing how big you can make your breath. Finding your way onto a scorpion twist. Hands, arms spread wide. We lift and bend the knee, opening up our hip and twisting over to the opposite side. Again, supported by the floor, yet engaging the backside, twisting, releasing tension into the spine, opening up the front part of your hip. Go ahead, inhale and exhale into this position, both sides. Scorpions are quick. However, move slow. Maybe it's just a roll and bend of a knee. If comfortable, make contact with the floor with the foot that you're bending. And here we go. Inhale into Cobra. Exhale. Back down to the floor. Inhale, look up, which is a lift from our upper back, lower back. Pressing ever so slightly with our arms, elbows behind. If able, chaturanga up into down dog. Walk your feet forward and find yourself back to the position we started in. Straight legs, forward fold. Notice again where your physical state is compared to before. And then rolling back to your supine position, back supported. Drop your knees side to side, just a little bit of movement to adjust the low back. Spread the hands out, open up that space. Allow your feet to flop to the sides into corpse pose. Savasana. Regulate your breathing. Entering back into your body, begin to bring movement into your extremities. Go ahead and inhale your arms overhead, and as you bring them to the sides of your head, notice any tension in your mandible joint or your jaw. We tend to hold tightness here, especially with more items being wrapped around our ears. Bring your thumbs to any tight spaces in the backside of your jaw, your neck, and encourage release through slow, intentional self-massage, finding those tender points and gliding across them, encouraging the breakdown of any tense spots. Inhaling to prayer to your forehead, your throat, and your heart. Come over onto your side. And coming up to a seated position. Thank you again for moving with me. Allowing me to share my liminal space. As you move back into your state, your current situation. Yoga has taken the shape to allow yourself to move while meditating or simply thinking about what you're doing in the moment, allowing it to be an experience. continue to create space, move well, and let your practice be what it needs to be for you. Good night and namaste.